I'm Daniel, and I'm a sleep coach, and I've supported over 100 people heal their sleep. I spent 10 years in a debilitating journey with sleep and spent over $180,000, not an exaggeration, on all different doctors' modalities to figure out what works. Now my purpose is to support others on their journey. Today we're getting into how self-love plays a critical role in helping us sleep. We'll cover the science behind it, the disconnect it can create between the mind and the body, and of course, how to begin making changes to support yourself. So with that, let's dive in. So self-love, let's be real. This can be incredibly challenging. How often do we put ourselves last? The way we talk to ourselves, the pressure we place on our shoulders, the lack of care we show our own mental and physical well-being. These all reveal how disconnected we can be from true self-love. And let's be honest, sometimes even the phrase self-love feels lofty. That's why I like to reframe it in terms of self-acceptance. Instead of trying to force love, what if we simply learn to accept ourselves exactly for who and what we are in this moment? No judgment, no fixing, just being. But here's where things get interesting. In our sleep community, we talk a lot about creating safety in the body. Because if the nervous system doesn't feel safe, sleep becomes a struggle. And one of the biggest reasons we don't feel safe is we are constantly at war with ourselves. We overextend, seeking validation from others instead of finding it within. We can judge, criticize, and push ourselves beyond our limits. And that disconnect between mind, body, and heart, that's what keeps us awake at night. So how does self-love connect to sleep? When you don't feel safe in your own body, when we're constantly in a fight or flight mode, criticizing ourselves, feeling like we're not enough, your nervous system stays in high alert. And a body that doesn't feel safe, it won't let go. It won't relax. It won't sleep. So some science behind this. Research has shown that self-criticism activates the same stress pathways as real external threats. Your brain doesn't know the difference between an extreme danger or your own harsh inner voice. So if you're constantly hard on yourself, your nervous system is in survival mode 24/7. Now on the flip side, self-compassion, learning to treat yourself with kindness, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode. This is the state you need to be in for restorative sleep. Let's think about how we treat ourselves on a daily basis. Do we listen to our body when it's tired? Do we allow ourselves to rest without guilt? Or are we constantly caught up in the loop of, I should be doing more? See, true self-love or acceptance means syncing our mind, body, and heart. It means letting go of the internal fight where one part of you says you are exhausted, but the other part is saying, no, keep going, don't stop, you're not enough yet. We're talking to that not enough piece. When we practice this self-acceptance, when we give ourselves permission to just be, we create a sense of inner peace. And peace, that's what allows the body to rest. Now, all this is easier said than done. If you're anything like me, you have years of hurt, traumas, negative loops, and coping mechanisms that will take time to work through. Finding a new level of okayness within yourself won't be happening overnight. It's more likely that it will happen over months. But you can feel the progress fairly quickly, which means it can lead to better sleep more quickly by your body just trusting itself to take care of you again. We will get into techniques and ways to support yourself, but just know that sometimes extra support can be hugely helpful. That's where this community and live calls come in. That's where you can always book a private session for added support. I share this to plant the seed of patience and grace with yourself as you do this self-love work. Like all growth, plan for it to not be linear. Let it be messy and emotional. And remember, we are learning to love ourselves exactly as we are. So messy has to be included in that. So what can this look like? I've created a workbook of self-love prompts to work through in 25 different self-love practices that I recommend. I highly recommend working your way through these and considering what practices speak to you most. Part of self-love is letting go of shooting yourself in any way. So that goes double when we think about the practices we want to bring into our own lives. They have to be things you want that feel enjoyable and nourishing to you. And you aren't doing them because science says it's good for you. So that said, let me share a few that I find supportive for my sleep clients that I think could be a great place to start. First one that comes to mind is a nighttime ritual. You've probably heard this before, but adapting it in a way that actually is specific and nourishing to you. So this doesn't have to be something hugely dramatic, right? Something as simple as warm tea, dimming the lights, stretching before bed can be an act of self-love, signaling to your body that you're here for it and it deserves rest. A huge one, listening to the body. This is maybe the most important in my mind. If we don't honor and listen to how our bodies are feeling, then how can we rebuild the trust with it? How can it feel safe to let go? Think about it. If your friend or child didn't feel safe to share what they were experiencing emotionally or physically, then they would be guarded around you. They'd feel shut down. We want to foster a new, closer relationship with ourselves, and this has to come from listening, working on letting ourselves feel. So this can be a check-in through a body scan, voicing what you're feeling emotionally and physically, and maybe even reading and sharing it out loud, even if no one's there to listen. Or, I love the journal for this, right? Simply honoring our experience by writing it down so it feels safe and so you feel seen. One last suggestion might be releasing the need for perfection. I see it all too often. I know it all too well. Maybe today didn't go as planned, right? Maybe you weren't as productive as you hoped, but what if that's okay? What if the new self-talk is, what if rest is productive? What if your worth isn't tied to how much you do? Reflect on this and catch yourself in the judgment of yourself. All right, so to bring things to a close here, self-love isn't not about being perfect. It's about being kind to ourselves in our imperfect moments. It's about treating yourself the way you'd treat someone you deeply love. And remember, sleep isn't just about what you do before bed. It's how we live our life, how we treat ourselves, and how safe you feel in your own skin. If you want to sleep better, start by building more okayness with yourself, more self-acceptance. So if this resonates with you, let me know and share it with the community. What's one act of self-love you're willing to commit to this month? And if you want more guidance, support, and tools for better sleep, check out a live call where this is always baked into it. Thank you for being here, and thank you for taking care of you, not only for yourself, but for the people around you.